Hi there, I'm Karen McCarthy, and it's time to Karen-ize. Today's Wednesday when we talk about spiritual health, and I want to share a story with you. It's called The Value of a Diamond, and it's credited to a man named Kent Crockett. It says, one afternoon, my wife Cindy called from the bank where she worked. The diamond fell out of my wedding ring, she sobbed. I have no idea where it is. My mind flashed back 2 decades when I was a poor seminary student, surviving on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and cheap buffets. But I saved $750 to purchase the most beautiful diamond ring in the world for my future wife. Now, a diamond appraiser wouldn't describe it that way. It was less than half a carat, had a little carbon flaw, but the true worth of the value of diamonds isn't determined by carats and clarity, but by the love with which it's purchased. The chances of finding this diamond? Slim to none. We had no earthly idea where it could be hiding. She could have lost it in her house while getting ready for work, at the restaurant where she'd gone for lunch, somewhere in the bank, in the parking lot, who knows? Lord, I prayed, you know where Cindy lost her diamond. Please show me where it is. Immediately, I felt prompted to go to the bank parking lot to begin my search. When I arrived, the first place I looked was inside my wife's minivan, but nothing was there. When I turned around to scan the lot, I saw something glisten. Tiny rocks and small chunks of gravel covered the parking lot. As I drew closer to investigate, my heart leaped when I discovered Cindy's diamond ring lying in a crack in the pavement. I snatched up the diamond and ran into the bank lobby, holding it high for everyone to see. Look, I found it! Bank customers turned around to find why I was causing such a commotion. Cindy looked up from behind her teller window, burst into tears, and came running through the lobby to my arms. As we hugged in the middle of the bank in front of customers, we looked like the final scene of a romantic movie. I just picture the whole place applauding. Although we hadn't noticed the diamond that morning, it had become the center of our attention by evening. We called our friends and relatives to tell them how our lost diamond had been found, and then went out to dinner to celebrate. Our lost diamond incident bore an uncanny resemblance to the parable of the lost coin in Luke 15. The woman in the parable lost a silver coin, searched diligently, and found it. She was so excited she called all her friends and neighbors to share her joy. After finding the lost jewel, Cindy and I had unwittingly followed the same script as the woman in the parable. Had the value of the diamond changed? Not at all. What had changed? Our perception of its value. I learned one of the great secrets of thankfulness through this adventure. The value of something isn't determined by how much it appreciates, but how much it is appreciated. So when I read this story, it made me laugh because I had a similar thing happen to me. I was going to quite a few different errands. My last one was an appointment at my allergy doctor's. And while I was sitting in the waiting room, I looked down and my diamond had fallen out of my ring. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So we searched the whole floor, in the chair, the nooks and crannies of the chairs. We searched everywhere and we couldn't find it. And I thought, who knows when I lost it today? I've been to like 10 places. The odds of finding it, pretty much zero. But I walked out to my car, and as I opened the door, I looked down, and in the area between my seat and the door, that little dip, I saw what looked like a little sequin. And I'm like, what's a sequin doing here? I don't wear sequins. I picked it up and turned it over. It was my diamond. I mean, I had prayed. Definitely I had prayed. And it's amazing to me when God answers the littlest prayers. I mean, the odds of finding a diamond that's fallen out of a ring, especially when you've been to umpteen places, is pretty minimal. But with God, it's possible. So I had a couple of scriptures. In John 10:29-31, it tells us, are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground outside the Father's care. And even the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Now, I don't know about you, but that number changes a lot for me because I shed quite a bit. But he always knows the number. Even though the very hairs of your heads are all numbered, don't be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows. I mean, if God cares about how many hairs are on our head, it stands to reason he cares about other details of our lives. I remember one morning I was mentioning to a coworker that I prayed over an activity in our job responsibilities that caused us all a lot of stress. We worked in a fitness facility, and our job was to set appointments for new people to come in to take a look at the facility and hopefully join. And we had to set 3 appointments a day. That might not sound too difficult, but it was hard. Just getting hold of people, finding people to call, and then getting them to come in. It was difficult. It was very stressful for all of us. And this woman was a very spiritual woman, but the church she went to didn't really promote the kind of personal relationship with God that mine did. So she was appalled that I would even think God would care about such a mundane, non-spiritual detail of my life. But she did start to say after that, I'd say that, well, that day I said, I prayed over it. And one day I said, I just told God how mad I am because he's just not helping me with my appointments today. And she's like, you told God you were mad? I said, well, he knows everything. But when I said those kinds of things to her, I think it really got her thinking, because she said, I really noticed that setting the appointment seems to be easier for you than the rest of us. And you pray about it. He cares about something like that. And it really, I don't know if it made long-term effect on her, but it made her really start thinking about, God is not this distant, fierce God. I mean, he can be that way, but he wants a personal relationship, and he wants to be part of every part of our life. And just like a little kid, you think about your children, when they're little, they come to you crying over what we think are the silliest things, but they're important to them. So it's important to us. So don't ever think that anything is too small to pray about. He cares about every aspect of our life and delights in blessing us in unexpected ways. Just another thing to be thankful for, isn't it? Have a great one. Talk to you next time.